Hello. Hello. Oh, man. Hello. I'm Fyidelis from Delvecore Records. Felt compelled to make this video. I know everybody talks online, and I despise that. Decided to do a video. Something from a friend of mine, Balls Brown. Shout out to him. He's doing big things in Atlanta. The only point I make is that too often we as a people have a real fight that we are fighting every day that offends others, and they develop a problem with our real fight and fight us instead of the real problem. If we focused on what we are complaining about over the fact that we are complaining, maybe we would stop complaining. Here's my thing. I'm Hawaiian and Puerto Rican. Ethnically wise, I'm American. I was born in America. I served my country in the United States Marine Corps as an infantryman. We want to get rid of racism. Actually, black people are afforded a lot more privileges than other ethnicities in this country. Native Americans, Hawaiians, my people who live in tents and don't have a voice in their government. You know, Puerto Rico, which is a territory, we tax the shit out of them, but they can't say shit about our electoral process or anything. Well, that's because we don't have a voice in that either. That's another goddamn subject. I get it. I despise the divide. Comes to my mind as demographics, you know. Obviously, I'd be like, well, where did you grow up? According to his Facebook, it says New Jersey, so I was like, your opinion's a little tainted. The divide between black people and white people, I don't understand it. I don't understand it in this day and age. You know, I wonder what would happen if, Martin Luther King had access to, Facebook, and how he worked things out demographically to formulate an idea and then get it organized and then structure it in a way that you could assimilate information down, you know what I mean? This is what it is now, the internet. And I think people, they don't want us to focus on that, where we could go as a people. Now, to get into this, people that they just jump on bandwagons just because, I don't get it, you know? And I don't get it on several reasons. Biggest thing that comes to mind when I read stuff like this that mainly aggravates me is, as a father of 3, I'm not with my baby mama anymore. So that means I have the possibility of having other children. With like this out there, you're telling every mixed kid in America, you need to pick a side. And that's where I'm just like, wow, I have a problem with that. You don't need to recognize a struggle to identify with being an American, because that's what we all are. We're Americans, and we are afforded this luxury called the internet, and we treat it like a little kid that found a gun. All this is a better way to connect us, to get our minds together, to come together, and that's what they really don't want. My ex-girlfriend, she was black, and if we had children, I don't want my baby having to pick which side of themselves is better than the other or more real or honest or that. None of that matters. Hurled out of me because I was in the military. I don't understand it. We didn't see color. We saw an objective and we took it together. The music, and it edifies some horrible. I love Jeezy, for instance. I love Young Jeezy. Grew up, I love him. He's telling your kids to trap or die while he's telling his kids to graduate and aim for something higher. And it's the truth. Talking about drugs and, you come around the corner and you see your little baby, singing about drugs and my kids was in the store and they're, I'm in love with the cocoa. I was, don't sing that song, and what you know about some damn cocoa puffs, sit your ass down. That's what I listen to around them. For anybody that's truly with drugs, you don't want that for your baby. And that's one problem, one avenue, and then everybody around it edifies that, but then they want to come together on some social shit. It furthers the divide, is my point. And that is what I'm at war with. And I'm going to start speaking out because I see black people saying, oh, ain't nobody talking about it. I can get it. But I am more interested in, when it comes to drugs, why is it so easy to get cocaine into this country? Nobody does anything about it. Why? What is the DEA actually doing? Nothing. You study that. There's eradication programs in Colombia where they're wiping out innocent farmers' livelihoods by destroying whole fields. We totally back it and supply arms to paramilitia groups all over the country in Colombia. That's just Colombia, I'm talking specifically cocaine. My question is why isn't there anything doing to lower the profit margin? Why are you more interested in building prisons instead of building rehabilitation centers so that the risk isn't there, so that people get off the drug? Oh, but that's right. And that's just cocaine, don't get me started. On the fields in Afghanistan. Why we burn other ones and guard other ones, you know? The real enemies of this country are the pharmaceutical companies that pump out bull every day. They're the biggest drug dealers. The lifestyles that are edified, and then the people that go behind it and want to have a just cause. You know, it's changing me too. I'm starting to change my music and what I want to say and how I want to say it, have something positive. I bounced for years, you know. I started taking this music seriously because of an incident that happened in Daytona involving somebody named DONKEVIOUS Johnson. He was killed in a club, and I had bounced at so many functions, you know, and I knew that one there was going to be predominantly black people there, and there's always a problem, always. You know, it doesn't matter how you handle it, you know, and it's like, there's issues too. I bounced at all kinds of places. You know, Spanish people, there's issues, don't even get me started. Shoot each other up in a second, you know, but it's everywhere. The point is ignorance and stupidity. But my point with that is, you know, the night DONKEVIOUS was killed, it was awful. You know, from the police to the people that were more concerned with pulling out their phones to film, to the cops needing evidence. There ain't nobody said why he died on the ground, and it was awful. Like I said, I was in the military, been around and whatever, but that was specific to me because nobody cared, from the cops to the people. It was just nobody gave a and they would rather dwell on this black-white divide bullshit when the real problem is the system that we live under. It keeps us down, that wants us to be dumbed down with shoes and shirts, and be more concerned with having a $3,000 belt and not being concerned where it came from and the systems that are built into these third world countries. Anyway, point is, we need to move past the bullshit. Everybody needs to stop complaining. But my point is love, 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 love. It's the only thing that's going to move us forward in any direction that you want to start pointing at, whether it's, you know, it doesn't matter. To further the divide, especially between white and black, is pointless to me. It's idiocracy. We have to come together as a people. The only way that that's going to happen is if we start talking about ideas together and using the internet, the tool that isn't, this is an unprecedented tool. Human race, we have never, ever, ever been this connected before. Log in and watch what's going on the Mars rover. More technology in our hand than they did when they sent the first rocket to the moon, you know? That's amazing. And instead of talking about old ideas and let's come together and move forward. You know, change the school systems, demand our senators to, you know, hey, man, you're doing okay with your 5 houses, you know, and your 3 vacations a year. Could you throw something down to the people? Oh, that's right. Let's talk about that every congressman and senator, they're millionaires. How are you representing the people? You know, how do you know? You don't even know how much milk is. We have to come together. We have to change our voice. We have to love. We have to use the tools at hand to come together. I'm sorry that it offends people, whatever your perspective is, but it doesn't change the fact that nobody gives a and you can argue a million different ways and a million different things, and I want you to comment, like, talk, tell me I'm an idiot. It doesn't matter. It's love that's going to move us forward. Unity, not talking about complaining and not complaining, and, you know, Mike, I love you, bro. I hope this starts some controversy, or you tell me to off or whatever. Be easy, brother. Much love, everybody.